How do you start an intro when your stomach is in knots thinking about the topic of the day? Today is April 30th. 1 year ago, Peter Mayhew passed away. My name is Matthew Egan. Online, I go by Trainer Toll. One of my jobs is as the communications director for Peter's foundation, the Peter Mayhew Foundation. It is the best job in the world. We get to help people. We had just come back from Star Wars Celebration last year, and I was very fortunate. Peter didn't talk on the phone a whole lot, but he did that day. Just the last time I spoke to him was over the phone. I was talking to Angie, his wife, and she's amazing. She's the driving force behind everything in the foundation. Somebody contacts her about a sick kid, and she mobilizes all of us and puts us to work. He said how much fun he had at Star Wars Celebration, seeing all of his friends, and the last thing he said to me was that he was kicking ass and taking names, which, as the last thing to say to somebody, is pretty amazing. So in Peter's honor, I have my special co-pilot with me today. I'm wearing my 501st Legion racer, and let's talk about SEO. If this is your first time joining us, do hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell so you never miss any of our SEO tips. I'm going to get through this. Today, our guest is MikeyPerk. He's an amazing streamer and soon-to-be podcaster. He had some questions today about his podcast and SEO.
Howdy, Trainer Toll. This is MikeyPerk, and I had a quick question. I am starting up a podcast, and I'm curious how to use SEO and YouTube to draw more viewers to that particular kind of content. I look forward to your answer and hope you have a great day. Thank you.
This is a really good question. I'm going to start answering this by telling a story, and hopefully you'll see the context in it. We had a veterinary client, veterinary website, and they would do every Sunday a Q&A, right? So for an hour, you could come and ask the doctor questions in a big group setting, right? And it wasn't like a one-on-one thing. It was, it was a group thing. It was not meant to be in place of a consult, but just kind of wellness of dogs and that type of stuff, things to be worried about that they don't necessarily want to spend the money to come into the vet yet. Listening to these, what we found was that the questions that were being asked, you hear a lot about questions in these videos. Questions are a huge part of SEO. Answering questions, creating content that speaks to these questions is huge. Questions tend to fall into the long tail keyword category, right? So SEO, search engine optimization, we're trying to optimize for search, right? So we are going to create content that speaks to as many keywords as we can. It's tempting to make content that speaks to the big keywords, right? Final Fantasy VII Remake. How many IGN videos would you be competing with if you were making content about Final Fantasy VII on a generic level, or you were doing content about a playthrough or something like that, when there's 100 playthroughs currently on YouTube, right? You don't have a chance. Unless you're Ninja, you don't have a chance, and you're not Ninja. We've talked about this. Stop asking. So when you create content, you need to create content that lives in the long tail. And podcasts are perfect fodder for the long tail because they deep dive on topics, right? And so at this veterinary office, people would ask questions, and these questions were real human questions, the same way that somebody might ask on Google, right? Should I be concerned about this lump on the side of my dog? And these types of things where we, as the website creators, we didn't consider that question when we were making content, right? We weren't thinking about every possible question that somebody could ask. So by going to these Q&As, by having these conversations and creating a transcript of the text, we then started putting that on their website. And so suddenly this super contextual, like super drilled down question and answer on a very specific level, this content appeared on this website. And as you can imagine, people searching in that long tail, people searching for question keywords, they started to really stumble onto this website in higher numbers. And so then the traffic for this website really started to go up, which was really good. And so that's my advice for podcasters, is to run your podcast through something like Drag and Dictate and create a blog transcript. And this takes some time to do, after you're done recording. I know that everybody's like, I barely got my podcast together. Now you want me to write it all down? Like, the conversations that you're having in the podcast are keywords. You wouldn't be talking about hot topic items if you weren't, if those themselves weren't trending, right? You're always talking about neat, hot stuff. So as you have a conversation on your podcast, create the written version of that. That's to sum up the advice. Create the written version and add it to a blog. And whenever possible, on the website where you're posting these things, when they give you space to do so, post that transcript so that when Google comes to visit, they can't hear what you said, but they can read a transcript. And so wherever possible, when you're talking about things and you want, maybe just excerpts too, maybe just a single paragraph that really was, covered a lot of topics. It was very keyword rich. That type of thing allows you to play in the keyword space almost as a blogger, but you're doing it as a podcast. And then embed the podcast on your blog. Have that website and have it linked to your Twitter, have it linked to your Twitch, have it linked to other things like that, so that it is supporting your primary goal. And then that way people will stumble onto your podcast because they read your transcript, and then you will be able to convert people into your audience. It takes some work, but it's worth the effort. If you found this video helpful, do hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell so you never miss any of our SEO tips. Laurel and I do stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/TrainerToll. Take us out, Chewy.